I've had people that weren't my clients refer people to me because they trusted my sales process. That person literally went to his friend's business, said, hey, there's this sick SEO agency that works with e-com brands that do 100K plus. He got on the Zoom call with his friend and was selling his friend with us. Welcome back to this series, the $280 million framework. I call it the Dominus Way. This is part 2. Part 1 is arguably the most important part of this series. So if you have not seen that, please go back and watch. This is part 2. I want to share my screen with you just so that we can dive directly into it and exactly what we're going to be covering. Diving into the presentation, this is the framework that we'll be going over. Step 1 is identifying that starving crowd. Need to watch that video, go back. That's where you find people with specific and emotional problems that keep them awake at night. You're going to be using their language in your marketing, right? You're going to be finding those tendencies, finding the commonalities. You're going to be doing some micro testing and actually verifying that those assumptions and that those guesses that you have are actually real. So better to make decisions off of data before building out a whole funnel, before spending loads of money on something. Have the data first. You need to have the data first. And that's what that part 1 is going to show you, is how to get that data without spending any money. It's just some sweat equity, right? And then today we're going to be using that information that we found from identifying that starving crowd, from studying them, from getting the data, and then transfer it into actually building our offer. So now we're going to be going into crafting that irresistible offer for that crowd that we found that is so hungry for what we have, right? So just to give you a quick insight, I was originally just going to make this one video and then I just kept writing, you know what I mean? So I wanted to make sure that it was the maximum value possible. I don't have this anywhere on the internet, so I'm stoked to finally be able to give it to you guys, but I will spill all the tea, including all the hacks that makes my service worth 25K to 100K. You can't have my team though, which is where the real value comes from. Just a little intro of myself. Zach Schubert, worked with over 4,000 businesses, and I've been doing this for a really long time. And my company Dominus is kind of a premium growth partner for high caliber info businesses and coaches. We work with people like Ty Lopez, Colin Yersison, Capital Club, some of the biggest names in the industry we have either worked with, consulted with, or completely run their marketing behind the scenes. So looking forward to share some of the secrets. And this is the system that we use. Step 1. The first thing I do is find a starving crowd. Now notice I didn't say like find a blue ocean or create a brand new service that doesn't exist, right? The first industry that I ever worked in was SEO. Talk about a saturated market, right? And then we did Google ads for e-com brands. Talk about another saturated market. So you might do email marketing, you might do paid ads, you might be a fitness coach, you might teach people how to do public speaking, right? All saturated, tons of people in them. None of this stuff is brand new. But what makes an offer special is finding the exact problem your market is sick of dealing with, and then directly solving that pain or directly being able to speak to that pain, right? So when we're doing our research, that is what we're looking for. We're not looking to reinvent the wheel. You heard in my last video, I gave the example of a debt relief for IRS debt, for people that owed money in taxes, right? That's not a new concept. That's not a new service. People have been selling that since taxes existed, right? But there are things that people were sick of, and we found those commonalities, and I showed you those commonalities in that last video of what people were sick of, and we were able to address those and deal with those so people felt like we were speaking to their soul, what we were grabbing them and shaking them, and we knew exactly what was keeping them up at night. So when I first started SEO, everyone said, it takes way too long to see results. You know what I mean? Everyone was like, even Forbes says that SEO takes 6 to 12 months. So that became my starving crowd. Business is sick of waiting months to see if their SEO is working, right? Easy thought, harder to solve. Another thing I saw was no one specialized in SEO specifically for e-commerce. So my offer was simple. guaranteed results in 90 days, or I'll work for free. Clients instantly drop their old agencies to work with me. Why? Because nobody else promised speed, reliability, and specialization like I did. Everyone was, we do SEO for everyone. We don't guarantee any of our results. Good luck if it doesn't work out for you. You have to pay me thousands for every single month. And if that's all you get, that's all you get. So it was pretty easy. And that's why I was able to charge higher prices and attract those top tier clients, because I knew the problem that they were having with SEO. They thought it was expensive. They thought it took too long. They didn't think that anyone was good at their specific niche. So I chose a niche. I promised speed, and I delivered those results. Case study after case study after case study. And I was able to prove that. And so even though I was in one of the most, arguably the most saturated industries pretty much in the world online, because SEO has been around longer than paid ads, been around longer than any of these, I was still able to excel in it very, very quickly because I identified that crowd. Niche down hard, but don't turn others away, right? That's step 2. You're going to niche down like crazy. My niche down to e-commerce only, right? Not to say that I'm going to go even more granular to say like, hey, we are specifically working with supplement brands. No, we chose e-commerce as a whole. Everything on my website and all my marketing was laser focused on those e-com brands, right? That's what I wanted to focus on. Doesn't mean that we're not keeping our doors open to everyone, right? If there's another type of business like, SaaS or a local business or whatever came through the doors and was like, hey, I'd like to work with you also. Notice that you guys were real good. I'd still take them. You know what? I take them on quietly. I just wouldn't promote that anywhere, right? And eventually, as we scaled, we started creating different websites for each niche. But at the beginning, we wanted to niche down to be seen as that specialist. This made me look like I was the expert in this exact niche, in this exact industry. People want to work with specialists, not generalists, right? So if you advertise yourself as a generalist, you're not going to get the people that you want in. You have to advertise yourself as a specialist, and then you can expand into each specialty. Imagine you have a weight loss program. If you market yourself as the absolute expert in helping people over 300 pounds, everyone in that exact situation is going to pick you. A person whose weight is 220 might still buy, but you don't force your marketing there, right? Especially if you're like, hey, I help people that are over 300 pounds that are ages 50 and above. You're going to get all of them. You're going to completely conquer that niche. And the dude that's on Instagram that's flexing that has abs isn't going to get them because that's unrealistic that he's going to be able to help someone that's 300 pounds and that's age 50 plus. Right? But if your marketing, if your messaging is all surrounded by that age group, you're going to get that, you're going to get those people. Solve all their problems. No partial solutions. I don't mean solving every little problem that your client brings up. I mean bundle everything relevant to your main offer, right? When we started SEO, other agencies drove traffic onto the website, but didn't help turn that traffic into actual sales, CRO. So we bundled CRO, conversion rate optimization, into our package. Now we've solved 2 of their big problems. Not only were you bringing them cheap traffic because it's organic, it's forever, they're going to keep it, but then we're also making sure that that traffic converts. Because a lot of agencies said, yeah, I'll rank you, I'll get you all this traffic, yada, yada, and then they didn't see sales from it. They're like, well, what happened? Well, it's because that traffic wasn't actually optimized to convert. So we bundled those 2 things to be able to solve that problem. The clients needed traffic, but more than traffic, they need conversions. They struggled with that brand authority. Competitors offered partial solutions. So our complete solution was SEO for traffic, CRO to turn traffic into sales, and PR articles with strong backlinks to build that authority for them. Another common issue was brand authority. So we started offering those PR articles with strong backlinks. This boosted their SEO and helped their credibility. Suddenly, Our offer wasn't just SEO, it was traffic, conversions, and brand authority all rolled up into one. And then we were able to boast what we were able to do for these clients. Boost your offer's perceived value. Your service is only worth what your clients think it's worth. And that is incredibly important. That is very key. Do not forget that. It isn't actually how much often goes into it. It's mostly what your clients think it's worth. Now, I'll give you a little bit of insight because we haven't launched this yet, but it's actually, I think, being launched either today or tomorrow. But we also started doing SEO for AI, which helps brands rank on, ChatGPT, Perplexity, Google's AI, Bing's AI, etc. So when people are searching, a lot of people are searching on these platforms to look for things. Our clients will rank for them. Now, to be completely honest with you, it's very easy to do if you know what buttons to press. But it doesn't take a wild amount of labor or crazy amount of hours to be able to accomplish. But it brings in a lot of value, and not very many people know which buttons to press. So we're able to charge significant amounts for it because what people think it's worth, not actually what it is worth to us as far as how long it takes. That's why you need rock solid case studies. You got to skip those vanity metrics like clicks or impressions. Business owners only care about money in the bank, revenue, and profit. They only care about how it helps improve their everyday life. If they have problems with public speaking, people want to get raises, people want to improve in their jobs, they want to be able to talk in front of people better, they want that confidence back. That's the most important thing, right? The results that you want to bring these people. Not I helped some guy lose 5 pounds when he was 300. Big whoop. Where is the actual results and the actual changes and the perceived value? And if you can enhance that perceived value by either showing them results or by being able to study them and see what they're most interested in, see what they most desire, that's where it increases the value of what your clients think it's worth, because that's what's important. Now, focus on revenue generated. When I show case studies, I only include new non-branded revenue generated for past clients. Clients love this because they instantly know exactly what to expect. Show them what they want. Case studies do not need to be detailed. They don't need to break down how you did it. It doesn't need to break down your methodologies, what changed in the mind of the consumer, or how that person, it's the most important things. And you're only going to know what these things are if you did part one and if you research what people actually want, right? Public speaking. I can't get a raise because my boss won't give me a better job because I have a fear of speaking in front of my colleagues. And because of that, I can't have a better job, right? I solved that for him. He got a raise. He got his better job. That's what people are looking for. That's the case study. No case studies, no problem. If you don't have any case studies yet, don't worry about it. Do free, insanely valuable audits, blow their minds with value, and they'll instantly assume your paid service is even better, right? Even if you have some kind of exercise program, have some lead magnets are incredibly powerful, right? I have a video on lead magnets. Go watch that. But build a lead magnet that shows them that what you're building for free is pennies compared to what you're actually going to do once they pay you. But that has to blow them out of the water. I've had clients tell me that your free value was so good, paying you was a no-brainer. Literally, exact quotes. 5, stack your offer with extras. Always stack your main service with additional solutions. Our solution was SEO. We stacked CRO. We stacked PR. Free included. Free, right? Imagine going to a steakhouse. If you order a steak and they bring bread, drinks, sides for free, you'd say yes every single time. You'd be there. Imagine if they just brought you a steak. Obviously, they do this at some fancy places, but imagine you ordered a steak and it was just literally a steak on a plate. Like if you live in like the UK, like where are the chips, where are the fries, like where's the side salad? Or if you're like in the US and you're going to like, I don't know, you shouldn't do this, But if you go to like Outback Steakhouse for a steak, you're expecting things on the side. You're expecting some bread, maybe. But if you don't have that, you're like, what? You kind of feel empty, right? Same goes for your offer. When a client comes to us for SEO, we throw in the CRO, the brand authority, the PR, the custom marketing strategies at no extra cost. One prospect recently told me, I was already looking for a CRO agency and you included that for free. So they signed instantly because they were like, okay, we get 2 for the price of 1, basically. People want to solve multiple problems with one single solution, right? Practical example, right? Because I love to give you guys the theory, but I want to give you something a little bit more practical. So this is from one of my agency clients. We do lead gen for agencies occasionally, depending on the agency. But one of my agency clients only did paid ads at first. After listening to all their sales calls, we noticed their clients complained about needing better landing pages and more frequent creative updates. That was their complaints about previous agencies. The paid ads were great, the media buying was great, but they felt like their ads flopped most of the time because they needed better landing pages or because the creatives weren't updated enough or there wasn't enough testing done on the creatives. So that's why they left. That's why they left their previous agencies. And that's why they were getting on sales calls with this agency. So we helped our clients stack their offer. They added landing page creation and weekly creative refreshes into their paid ads package. Overnight, their conversions improved dramatically because they were able to hear what their customers were saying and they were able to solve it. Now, something that's very important for you to understand. This is a practical example of something that we discovered after doing research. We didn't funnel hack someone. We didn't think that this was the best solution. It was based on data. So you might be seeing this and you're like, oh, I'm a paid ads agency as well. I'm gonna do the same thing. Don't do that. The customers that are coming to you are likely different. They're different for everyone, right? The customers that were coming to my agency for SEO were different. They were different than other SEO agencies. Companies that come to us, Dominus, that are looking to work with us, they're different than companies that are coming to you for lead generation or to be a growth partner. Every single person is different. Do your research first. So this is an example to show you what research can do because it sounds simple. It's like, oh yeah, duh, just do landing pages and do weekly creative refreshes into your packages. Like that's a no-brainer. But it's only a no-brainer if it's what people are asking for. If people aren't asking for it, it's just extra noise. That's all it is. It's just extra complication of something that people don't want. Going back to the steakhouse. You ever been to a steakhouse where the steak is really good, but the sides absolutely suck? You wish you never got them. You wish you never ordered them. You really just wanted the good steak. Same situation. Their clients loved it because it solved multiple problems with just one service. Suddenly, their offer was impossible to resist. One service, one comprehensive solution instead of multiple vendors, double perceived value with bundled offering, dramatic improvement in that client's acquisition just because of that. They were even able to go back to previous clients. We were able to push email campaigns to be able to reactivate them and get them back on book calls and say like, hey, all this that you were worried about, we now do. It's included for free in our offer, right? And of course, back they came, booking calls again. And they were able to convert on a lot of those people that had that doubt and didn't go with them because they weren't able to provide them a full solution. That's sometimes just what people want, especially if it's companies, B2B companies. They don't want to work with 18 different agencies to do 18 different services. They genuinely, and people think like, oh, I need to specialize in what I'm doing. People genuinely appreciate working with just one person for multiple things rather than 10 people for one thing, just because they specialize in it. I promise, right? And it doesn't seem that logical, but it's, imagine that you have a business and you're like, okay, I have one person that's editing my thumbnails. I have another person that's writing my scripts. I have another person that's editing my videos. I have another person that's my videographer. I have another person that's managing my social media. Now, all of a sudden, I have to make sure that 5 people are doing their job. Whereas if I just have a marketing manager, I just have to make sure that one dude is doing the job and he handles everything else. It's the same situation, but obviously you have to do it good. Step 6, create real exclusivity. Don't ever fake it. Don't ever say, oh, I just have one spot left. Don't ever say like, oh, I'm increasing my prices tomorrow, right? One huge part of an irresistible offer is genuine exclusivity. My agency only works with brands making at least 100K per month. That's real exclusivity, right? Or saying like, hey, I'm a boutique agency. I only work with 10 clients. Or if you're a personal trainer, being like, hey, I don't have other trainers. It's just me. I can only work with 10 clients at a time. I have 9 right now, right? By creating this exclusivity, prospects become desperate to qualify to work with me, right? Because they want to either get to that level. They want to be that last person. They want to be a part of this process. So recently a guy signed up after following me for a full year, literally followed me for an entire year on Instagram. He spent that entire year literally growing his business just so he could meet our minimum requirements and finally hire us. That's wild, right? Because we said, hey, we only work with 7-figure businesses. That's it. He was like, oh, I'm at 50K a month. Does that work? Nope, sorry. We only work with 7-figure businesses, right? And that real exclusivity increases the perceived value that people have of our offer, of our business, and of our exclusivity and of our specialty. That we specialize in those types of businesses, meaning that once people get to that level, that's us, that's our level. So never fake the scarcity, right? Never act desperate. Real exclusivity sells itself. My biggest sales happen when I genuinely don't care if someone's going to buy. I just deliver massive value and tell them honestly what I think, right? I'm not going to fake the scarcity. I will tell them like, hey, to be honest with you, I only have 1 spot left, and it has to be true. You can't just say that because most agencies will take everybody and they know that they will take everyone, but you have to explain it to them. Be like, hey, listen, I'm a boutique agency. I only have 1 team because I like to personally oversee everything. So we can only handle 10 clients at a time. Right now I have 9. Whoever comes first, that's who the spot's going to. I'm sorry, I'll let you know, but this is what it looks like for us right now, right? Be authentic. Prospects notice when you're authentic and not desperate, and then they trust you more. Sometimes I literally tell a prospect, honestly, you're not the best fit. Try this instead. I'll even tell people that if I'm building out like a package for them, I'll put a couple options in there and I'll be like, hey, to be honest with you, I don't think that you should spend this much money with me. You should spend this one because that's where your business is at. Even if they're interested in paying me more money, I'd rather be authentic with them. I'd rather be honest with them. I'd rather them pay me less and then pay me more later because they trusted me so much on the front end. Then the third thing is focus on helping. They appreciate the honesty. Trust me more, and eventually either come back later or refer their friends. Your goal should always be helping people, not squeezing money out of them. I've had people that weren't my clients refer people to me because they trusted my sales process. Because when they got on there and I said, hey, sorry, would love to work with you. Go change all these things in your business. This is what I would do. This is my true evaluation. This is my audit of your business. But I can't work with you because we only work with 100K plus. That person literally went to his friend's business, said, hey, there's this sick SEO agency that works with e-com brands that do 100K plus. I went through their process, incredible, highly recommend it. He got on the Zoom call with his friend and was selling his friend with us. Literally. It's powerful. The psychology behind irresistible offers. It's trust building. When you deliver massive value up front and maintain authenticity, you build trust that makes your offer way more compelling. Clients need to believe you can deliver what you promised. This is why case studies and testimonials are so incredibly powerful. They're literally real life social proof that you've delivered results before, especially if you can include real names of brands, faces of people, etc. The value perceived of your offer is often more important than the actual price. Like I said, that AI thing takes us a few hours to do, but because we know which levers to pull, we can charge so much for it. When clients see that you're solving multiple problems with one solution, also, the value proposition becomes much stronger. And then maybe you're only charging, $2K for your SEO services. and you were able to increase it to 4 because all of a sudden you just added on a PR article that costs you $200 a month, right? Maybe your personal training costs you, $50 a month, but because you targeted a specific weight class, a specific group of individuals, you were able to say, hey, I'm specialized in this. I'm the best in this group. I can now charge this much, right? This is why stacking your offer with relevant extras dramatically increases those conversions, but you need to do your research. Don't just guess and be like, okay, I do ads so that they must want landing pages, or, oh, I do this, so they must want that. Don't guess. Clients feel they're getting much more than what they're actually paying for. That's what's happening. Okay? So just to wrap it up, the formula to success: find that starving crowd. Go do your research. Identify the exact problem your market is sick of dealing with. Use their exact words. Niche down on those people. Find the exact crowd that you're wanting to work with, but accept everyone. Solve their problems. Boost that perceived value. Stack your offer and create real exclusivity. Okay? It's not rocket science. It's literally just data and research. Data and research will give you all of this. Go do those tests that I was talking about. If you record those Zoom calls with your prospects, if you take those tests, if you run those surveys, all of this data will come out. You can go to these brands and be like, what makes you so sick about SEO agencies? Oh, it's because they're slow and because they don't promise results. You'll get it all. And then that's your offer. Take action, craft your no-brainer offer, right? Do that research, niche selection, solution building, value demonstration, offer stacking. There's a rough schedule for you. Go follow that schedule. Doesn't take that much time. Will save you a ton in headaches, okay? Go do that. Day 1, day 2 to 3, day 4 to 5, day 6 to 7, day 8 to 10. Go do it, okay? That is step 2, part 2 of the Dominus Way. That is our framework for our $280 million system. Part 1 was identifying that starving crowd. Go watch that video, the most important one. And then with that, you can craft that irresistible offer. Part 3 is going to be optimizing your sales funnel and your backend. That's where we're going to streamline lead follow-up, qualify leads before they book, and maximize client value through upsells and cross-sells, right? So get ready for that one because that one's going to be fantastic. If you haven't yet, would love to see your subscription. And looking forward to seeing you on the 3rd episode. Once again, many of you will watch, but very few of you will actually listen.